Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack the absolutely massive success of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. And really, it all comes down to the hilariously cynical mind of its star, Greg Heffley. Just to put this in perspective for you, we're talking about over 300 million books sold worldwide. I mean, think about that. That is not just a successful series, that's a full-blown cultural phenomenon. It's basically defined a whole generation of readers.
So what's the secret sauce here? How did this Wimpy Kid become a global publishing giant? Well, the real key is just how relatable Greg Heffley's perspective is. It's his unique and, let's be honest, totally hilarious take on all the weird social rules and rituals we all have to deal with. All right, so let's get into it. The best way to understand Greg's mind is to look at his, well, let's call them conspiracy theories about all these social things we're forced to do. And what better place to start than the biggest one of all, the birthday party? So in Greg's mind, there was this, golden age, a much simpler time before birthdays were even invented, you know? He says nobody even knew how old they were, and things were just pretty crazy for a while. Honestly, that sounds kind of nice, right? But then, according to Greg's version of history anyway, some guy had an idea, a single idea that changed everything, and it was brilliant. Totally selfish, and it basically unleashed this tidal wave of social pressure that, let's face it, we are still dealing with today. And just like that, boom, this is how a simple little celebration spirals into a full-blown competition. All of a sudden, it's not just about, celebrating someone's birth. Now it's about these crazy themed parties and trying to one-up the neighbors. The whole thing just got out of control. Okay, so you think the party's the hard part? Oh, no, that's just the beginning. Because after the gifts are all unwrapped and the cake is gone, Greg has to face an even bigger social nightmare. I'm talking about the truly sinister ritual of the thank you card. And you know how it is. This simple little piece of paper suddenly becomes this high-stakes test of your entire character. Greg puts it perfectly, right? If you don't send one, you're basically an ungrateful jerk. The pressure is it's huge. And this is where it gets really nuts. The absurdity just keeps escalating. I mean, you start with those goofy, you old fart cards from your relatives, which is fine, but then you get sucked into this thank you card vortex. You've got people like Aunt Nancy sending a thank you card for your thank you card? Seriously, where does it stop? So right here, this is the classic conflict, isn't it? Greg's looking at this pile of gifts and thinking, this is way too much effort. Plus, stamps cost money. But his mom, she's not having it. She insists because, the older generation likes that sort of thing. It's what's expected. And this is peak Greg Heffley. In true Wimpy Kid fashion, he comes up with a solution to this yearly problem that is absolutely genius, incredibly time-saving, and completely lazy. A single, reusable thank you note. I mean, is it efficient? Oh, for sure. Is it socially acceptable? Probably not. But, for Greg, birthdays aren't just about the hassle of gifts and cards. There's something deeper going on. They're this unavoidable annual reminder of the one thing he seems to be terrified of, getting older. That unstoppable march of time. And he gets so worried, he starts soaking up anxieties from TV commercials that aren't even for him, for stuff like unsightly age spots. It's kind of funny, but it also shows how these fears about getting older can really start super young. He's genuinely worried he's aging too fast. So what does he do? Well, this anxiety leads to some absolutely hilarious attempts to stop the aging process. He starts secretly using his mom's anti-aging cream at night to stay ahead of things. And of course, he gets totally busted. The panic is real, people. And that's really the magic of it, right? The humor comes from Greg just saying these deep, super relatable anxieties that we all feel, but we never actually say out loud. He's voicing a very adult fear, but from a kid's point of view. It's brilliant. So, you might be wondering what happens when you take all of these anxieties, the parties, the social rules, the fear of getting older, and you smash them all together into one epic event. Well, that brings us to the latest book in the series, and it promises to be the ultimate stress test for Greg. Yup, In the new book, Partypooper, Greg is finally planning his own birthday party. He's in charge. And I mean, just look at that cover. You already know it's going to be a complete and total blowout in the absolute worst, most hilarious way possible. I mean, it is a perfect storm of chaos. Greg's trying to plan the ultimate party, the guest list completely explodes, the decorations are a total flop, surprise after surprise just backfires. It's got everything we've been talking about. Party stress, family disasters, and of course, that classic Wimpy Kid humor that makes it impossible to put down. You know, reading about Greg really makes you think about all the crazy social rules we follow in our own lives, right? So here's a question for you. What's the one social rule you wish you could just get rid of? And hey, if you want to see Greg's birthday bash turn into a total blowout, we've got you covered. The link to this book is right there in the video description.